Right, people, I'm back with the finale of my CD collection, well, for now, anyway, until I buy more. But yeah, this is probably going to be a slightly shorter video than before, because I managed to get through a bunch of albums last time, and I didn't actually realise how many I got through until I came to record this one. I realised there was only like a handful that I hadn't shown. But before I get into the video, I just want to say thank you for all of the comments, all of the, constructive criticism I've received, all of the advice I've received from my subscribers, and generally the support, because I wouldn't do this if you guys didn't watch it. And I'm glad that I can share like my collection with you and stuff, and that it's not just me sitting in front of a camera talking to myself for my own amusement. It's nice knowing that that people actually watch my videos. But anyway, enough with the whole thank yous and business and all that. I'm just gonna dive into the last part of my CD collection, and I hope you guys like it. As always, enjoy the video. Alright, so first up we have first up we have The Empire Strikes First by Bad Religion. This has one of the very first Bad Religion songs I ever heard. I think this has the first Bad Religion song I ever heard, which is Social Suicide on it, which is track 3. This was released in 2004, and I really enjoy this album, although I don't like it as much as their early stuff. Like, I really have a thing for their early stuff. But this is sort of the Bad Religion album that you listen to it and it's like, oh well, yeah, it's Bad Religion. They've found their thing and they've stuck to it and they know what works for them. So if you've heard them before, this album won't be much different for you. But no, it's still really good. If you haven't heard this album, at least check it out. At least listen to like the first half of it or something to say you have, because it's just a part of the band's history and stuff. So yeah, this is a cool album. I enjoy this one. Next we have another Bad Religion album, Suffer, from 1988, I believe. This is my second favourite Bad Religion album, next to No Control. If I ever recommend Bad Religion to anyone, it will always be this album or No Control, because they have like the essential Bad Religion listening on them. Like, I'll give them to people and be like, check this out, because it's so good. So they're the two albums that I give to people to introduce them to Bad Religion, and there's not a single bad song on this. This is another one I can listen to, not get tired of. This isn't much I can't really comment on this, because if you're into punk rock, you will know this album, or if you're into Bad Religion, you'll know this album. So there's nothing that I can say that hasn't already been said about this album. But pick it up, because if you haven't heard it, it will be a treat for you. You will enjoy it. Once again, I'm still sick. This is terrible. Right. Next up, we got 3 albums from Blink, so I'm just going to show them all, in one go. We've got Enema of the State, Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, and the Mark, Tom and Travis Show, the live album. I like Blink. I'm into Blink, as I said in my previous videos, so it's nice to have physical copies of those. Certainly the live album is one I kind of grew up with. Like, I listened to a lot when I was quite young, when I was like 11 or so, still in starting high school and stuff. So that was always with me and stuff. So that's a cool album. Anyway, next we got Follow the Reaper by Children of Bodom. I enjoy this album. This is probably one of my favourite Bodom albums. I'm really into their early stuff. I like old Bodom, up until Hate Crew Death Roll is like my limit for Children of Bodom. Although I do really like Halo of Blood, but I haven't really paid much attention to Children of Bodom, because I kind of went off them a little after I saw them in 2011. I saw them with Ensiferum and Monomath and I think Machina Supremacy, but I think I missed them. But you know, I saw Bodom because I've wanted to see them for ages because I was always a big fan. Finally got around to seeing them, and it was just disappointing. You know, their performance was disappointing. However, Ensiferum and Amonomath were incredible. Like I believe that Ensiferum really stole the show. But I would definitely go see Bodom again because I heard they're getting better. They've improved their live shows again. So now it's some similar to how they used to be. But yeah, so this is another that has my first Bodom song, which I believe because my friend sent it to me in the LimeWire days. You know, when you'd fuck your computer with a virus just to get, you know, albums and stuff. And I should probably not be talking about illegally downloading, lest all the other YouTube music vloggers jump down my throat and call me a bastard for it. But yeah, so I got this album sent to me like with a handful of other Bodom tracks, including their cover bases High by Iron Maiden, which I maintain is still fucking awesome. But this had Taste of My Scythe on it, and that was my first John the Bodom song. I remember having this little 2 gig iPod, which held exclusively just like a few John the Bodom songs on it. And I used to listen to Taste of My Scythe on my walk to and from school, and I just like this album. This is Bodom in their peak for me, personally. Anyway, next we've got an album I picked up as a gift for somebody who then decided they didn't want it because they didn't care about, you know, CDs and stuff. So I was like, oh, all right then. But I actually gave this to my mum. But then she gave it back to me, and it kind of found its way into my collection. This is Japanese Whispers by The Cure, which is an EP. It's only got a few tracks on it, but I did some reading up on it, and this was released to kind of between a couple of The Cure's releases. Now, I'm not very familiar with their discography, so I couldn't tell you what album this was released between. But this has got Let's Go to Bed, The Dream, Just One Kiss, The Upstairs Room, The Walk, Speak My Language, Lament, and Love Cats. It was brought out by Fiction Records. Let me have a look on the disc. I have a year or something. I believe Fiction Records was a German label because it says made in Germany on the disc, and a lot of it's written in German. But no, I can't see any sort of identifiers to tell me what year this came out in. Well, it says printed in West Germany, so it must have been in the 80s at least. But yeah, I am quite a big Cure fan, but they're not a band that I'd go out of my way to listen to sort of like just like listen to their entire discography or something. I like a few songs and I will listen to them if they come on, but I wouldn't actively sort of buy their music. But it's cool that I ended up with this. It might be worth something eventually, so I might hold on to it just in case. Next, we've got Deliverance by Corrosion of Conformity. That was my Skype going off, I'm sorry. Yeah, we got Deliverance by Corrosion of Conformity. This is the first album to feature Pepper Keenan on vocals instead of just on guitar, and I bought this. This was my first ever eBay auction win. I won this for fairly cheap, and it's still got the price sticker. It says our price on there, which was a store in the UK, but I think they closed down like years and years and years ago. So it's kind of interesting that it's still got the price sticker on it. But I fucking dig this album. Albatross, Clean My Wounds, Heaven's Not Overflowing. This is like, for me, this is COC. This is my favourite sort of era of COC. If it wasn't for this album and like Down by extension, you know, I would not really be into COC, but that's kind of cool that I was. Yeah. So yeah, there's that. All right. Next up, we got Reek of Putrefaction by Carcass. This is the sort of 12-panel digipack reissue with a big old fold-out digipack with all kinds of fanciful things inside on a dual disc with the DVD and part 1 of the Pathologist Report. UK gore grind at its finest. Carcass are fucking awesome. I really, really like Carcass. This being the special edition reissue that Earache did, it has their flesh-ripping Sonic Torment demo on it, which is really old school, really just like disgusting, gory, death grind stuff. Which brings me nicely on to my next couple of albums. This is Symphonies of Sickness by Carcass. This is the 2002 repress, the one that had the censored cover, which you had to kind of pull out. Yeah, Symphonies of Sickness. This is their more gory, grindy goodness. Now we come to the Surgical Steel. This was the day 1 edition. I bought this directly from Nuclear Blast the day it came out. I love this album. Like, this is Carcass all back, you know. I heard this album and it was like, fuck me, this is amazing. So I immediately ordered this and I got it on release. So it's cool that I now have the first press day 1 edition of Surgical Steel, but I also have the day 1 first press limited edition EP that came out afterwards on silver vinyl, which I showed in my vinyl collection video. But I can't recommend this album highly enough. Like, if you haven't checked out Carcass, or if you've been kind of on the fence about checking them out since Swan Song, do it. Just go out and listen to it, because this is fucking cool. Okay. Next, we have a compilation of Anthology by Burzum. I got this given to me. This has all the Burzum you will ever need on it. I'm not a fan, honestly. Like, Varg's a dick, but everyone thinks that. This is why I've not kind of bought more Burzum stuff, because they don't really grab me as much as other black metal bands do. But this is a cool thing to have nonetheless. So yeah, Anthology by Burzum. I believe that came out in 2008, I have not said that before. Next we got Volume 4 by Black Sabbath. The saying goes, you can only trust yourself in the first 6 Black Sabbath albums. The saying is true. I love this album. This is probably my favourite Sabbath record. This is the 2009 remastered edition digipack thing. Sabbath need no introduction at all. Next I have Live at the Astoria Halloween 2007 by Blackstone Cherry. This is kind of special because this album was actually released the night of the concert. You know, they had Concert Live in, recording the concert for a live album, and then copies of the live album would only be available at the end of the show. It wasn't until Concert Live and Roadrunner decided to reissue this that it became readily available. So I saw this came out and I just bought it. This is a 2-disc package. It's not very flashy packaging at all, but this has a lot more covers on it than their other albums, because this was when they were kind of just starting to get into the big time. But this is a cool piece of Blackstone Cherry history almost, and I really like them anyway, so I like that I have this. Okay, next we got Something's Gotta Give by Agnostic Front. This was the first Agnostic Front album I ever listened to. I'm kind of a recent convert to Agnostic Front as of about sort of 2014. This has, you know, Gotta Go, Before My Eyes, and No Fear, which is still my favourite Agnostic Front song ever. Apparently this is more in the hardcore, the sort of straight up hardcore that they practically invented. This is leaning more towards that sound than their previous efforts, which I don't really know much about. I'm fairly new, like I said, I'm fairly new to Agnostic Front, but they're a band that I do really like. Yeah, so there you go. Something's Got to Give by Agnostic Front from 1998. Next, we have one of my favourite albums of all time, ever. I listen to this album pretty much daily. That is Dirt by Alice in Chains. Another perfect album from start to finish, complete 10 out of 10. Fucking incredible album. Again, this is another that needs no introduction. You guys need this album in your life. If you're into grunge, if you're into sort of like the 90s alternative music explosion that happened, this should already be on your list. Again, like I said, I listen to this album daily. I cannot find fault with it. This is one of the few perfect albums that I own, and I'm really like blessed that I've actually heard this. Like that, you know, has made its way into my life almost. This is a fucking incredible album, and it's huge. Now, we've only actually got about 4 albums left before I come back and start doing updates and things. So I'm going to try and fly through these as quick as possible and then be out of your hair until next time, as always. This is a band, I think they may have been local. I don't really know much about them, but I saw them at a local band night in sort of 2008 or so. Then I bought their albums, and I can't even tell you what they sound like. Like, I can't remember. I haven't even listened to these guys in ages, but this is a band called Adrenaline, and I believe they're from Wales. This is their full-length album, Castrum Dolores, which I bought alongside their EP, being This Side of Insane. Again, I can't remember what they sound like. I assume they're kind of like groove metal stuff, but, you know, I could be wrong. Next, we got Rise of the Tyrant by Arch Enemy. I'm not an Arch Enemy fan. This is another one that came in a box that was given to me. I haven't even listened to this. I just have it, so I can't comment on it much. Next up, we've got Deceiver of the Gods by Monomorph. Strangely, the only Monomorph album I physically own. So I need to get around to buying more. I really enjoy this album, and I'm really looking forward to their new one that comes out next month. Although, having said that, I like, me as well as a lot of other people, when Deceiver of the Gods came out, it sounds very polished. Like, since Twilight of the Thunder God, they've become a very polished band. They've lost kind of that the gritty sort of intensity that made albums like With Odin on Our Side very sort of visceral and gruff. But I'm looking forward to the new album. I'm also very much enjoying this. I saw them on the Deceiver of the Gods tour. No, it was the Winter Bloodshed tour 2015, which was the 3rd time I've seen them on Monomorph live. So I'm a big fan. I like this album a lot. I've also got, I think we're going to finish on probably one of the most expensive items in my collection, which I came across by chance, and I bought it on eBay on a bid. This is the Coffin box set by the Misfits. This was released in 1996, and it was limited, very limited. I don't know how many that came out, but now these are not particularly readily available. This is a 4-disc box set, which I will open up. It's in a lined Coffin box, as you can see. This has everything released by Misfits in the Danzig era that they recorded, apart from Walk Among Us, because at the time of the release of the box set, Virgin Records still owned all of the rights to their debut Walk Among Us, and Caroline Records would have been sued if they'd released it. But apart from the studio recording of Walk Among Us, this has everything ever recorded by the band in the Danzig era. The booklet that it comes with is kind of cool. It's just full of like lyrics and pictures and like posters and things, which I think is really cool. I like the presentation of this because, you know, it feels a bit more substantial. Let me flick through some of the other pictures and things that they have with some lyrics and things. Yeah, this is mostly lyrics, honestly. But, you know, we got some pictures too. This is the contents of the box set, which is kind of cool. I will read you the. I have to excuse my cat sneezing in the background. Poor thing. This is a flyer on the back too. Now, it comes as a 4-disc set in 2 jewel cases. Now, these are available as the Collection 1 and Collection 2 CDs, but the fact that they are in the box set is kind of special. Now, disc 1 and 2 has Collection 1, Collection 2. Disc 2 has Legacy of Brutality, Evil Live, and Earth AD. Now, disc 3 and 4 are made up of like rehearsal demos and things, like the 1977 sessions, Date Unknown, No Studio, which has Who Killed Marilyn, Where Eagles Dare, Horror Business, Teenagers from Mars, and Children in Heat. Date Unknown at Song Shop Studios, with Night of the Living Dead, Where Eagles Dare, Vampire of a Violent World, Who Killed Marilyn, Spooky City, USA, and Horror Business. 9th of May 80 Master Sound Productions rehearsal tape. Some more at Rebel Platinum Studios. These are just a lot like a collection of rare B-sides, live recordings and stuff. And then the final disc, disc 4, contains Static Age in its entirety. As well as being in a lined coffin box, it also comes with an enamel Fiend Club pin badge, and this is probably one of the most expensive items I own. So yeah, that I'm probably going to leave that video here and then return to you shortly with more updates if and when I've been buying stuff. So yeah, once again, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys soon. And I will upload regularly still, despite the fact I've shown my CD collection. But anywho, I hope you guys enjoy it. Again, as always, like, comment, rate, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I will see you soon.